All right, we're recording. This is Josh French. I am Sheepdog, leading this crazy rabble of guys that are insane enough to commit to this 6 weeks of putting your fork down and picking up the cross. And we are recapping full week 2. And we are going to do a little conversation about this Hell Week that's coming up. Talk a little bit about fasting schedules, what we can do to support each other as we pick the day that we're going to do our fast. So basically, I think I'm going to default back to infantry days, and I'm sure those of you who have served or are in some kind of law enforcement or fire, we always do after-action reviews whenever we do a training iteration or a mission. And the standard form for those training, those after-action reviews, besides a really cool sand table with some plastic G.I. Joes representing, blue or red forces, are 2 sustains and 2 improves. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly go around the horn. Looks like we have about 8 people, including myself, on. And let's do that in just a minute after we talk about Hell Week and the fasting thing. So be thinking about that. 2 things that you'd like to sustain from what you've learned in the last 2 weeks or this week in particular, and 2 things that you want to improve on. And if we can come alongside you and help you in any of those, then we'll do that, okay? So I think that's a good format. I think that's a great way to kind of quickly recap and maybe speak into each of us that are watching this and getting it going. And you know what? I had no sun glaring on me until I absolutely started recording, and now it's hitting me like a spotlight. So, awesome. Okay, so Hell Week's coming up. Here's the intent, right? We operate on basically a 6-day week. We take the 7th day as rest. So sometime Monday through Saturday, y'all need to make a decision that you're going to fast from anything besides black coffee and water. You can do your supplements if you guys are doing Plexus, or vitamins if you're doing that, but no like food, milkshakes, anything like that, for 24 hours. Now, if any of you have a medical condition where you have to take medications with food, then obviously you can work around that, and you can do something like a lot of people do for Lent or for fast, where they give up a certain thing for 24 hours or longer. So if any of you have a medical issue where you have to eat, then hit that up on your squad chats, and then we'll figure out a guy that can be accountable to you. We'll figure out something that makes sense for you to give up. But for the rest of us that are going to embrace the suck, I have done fast before, but I have not done a 24-hour one that I can recall. At least not willingly. So this is going to be interesting, and I've read some of the blogs on SoulCon Challenge, and the guys are talking about a lot of them do like when they wake up, which was 6:30 in the morning until the next 6:30 in the morning. Those guys are sleeping in because they're slackers. I don't know what 6:30. 6:30. I'm already at least an hour or 2 into my day, so they need to get up, make something happen. But so here's how I envision this. I think that the squads are kind of an organic way to organize this. I think that if you just want to put the day you're thinking about out there this evening, and then maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of the guys are thinking about the same day, and then you guys can just kind of form a little side chat and say, hey, here's our Wednesday fast group, and just start exchanging some support, some prayer over each other during that whatever that day is. So hopefully we can handle it that way. If not, if you guys are struggling, you need somebody accountable, just use the whole squad. We're there and we're chatting and we're hoping to support each other. So, but basically what you want to do is go ahead and plan this out. Hopefully you guys are already doing this 1 day a week where you're kind of planning your meals out, and that keeps you from being in panic mode. On a Tuesday afternoon that's busy and you're trying to get to your next after work function and, Whataburger's calling your name or whatever. Hopefully you guys are having some kind of prep in advance, and you have some opportunity there just to go ahead and say, okay, for me, Tuesday makes sense. Okay? So the intent of this is to just enhance part of the reading. I think it was day 2 or 3 of this week where he talked about going to a Buddhist monastery and learning how to meditate. I did that 7-minute challenge where I just kind of, before I started anything this morning, just kind of sat out there, and it is amazing how much crap just floods your mind when you've got 3 seconds to yourself of, oh, I need to do this, and if I go this way and run these errands, then I need to knock this out, and by this way, this project is dependent on this thing getting emailed. Just all of this, I just kept having to tell myself, just shut it down. So maybe that's one of your sustains or improves. So again, those of you who are just joining, we're going to start a format. This after action review, we're doing this each Sunday night. We're going to do 2 sustains, things that you would like to continue doing from your lessons, or aha moments that you've learned and you're going to continue, incorporating into your walk, and 2 improves. So that could be whatever. That could be, hey, I'd like to really plan my meals better. I'd like to get more water in me. I'd like to do push-ups better. Anybody struggling with, getting the 5Ks in, whatever. Okay? So we're just going to go around the horn. And let's start with, just say your first name, and your 2 sustains, 2 improves. And it looks like we've got 9 on, so I'm just going to go from the Brady Bunch, my left, and start with Charles. Charles, you want to head us up with your 2 and 2s?
Sure, I can do that. This week's been a crazy week for me because I ended up having 8 kids that I was watching this week, and it's been hard to keep track of everything that I was doing. But for my sustains, I want to continue the studying that I've been doing, which is something I never really did before. And it's been great studying and reading and everything that I've been doing with the challenge now. And then I want to continue my push-ups that I'm doing. Now, currently my push-ups are a little off the floor and mostly off the wall. So I want to improve those. And then I want to improve my 5K walks as well.
Nice.
Because I'm just walking those right now just to get through because I'm out of breath within the first 5 minutes. But it's getting better. So I hope by the end of the 6 weeks at least I'll be able to hopefully run a little bit of it. So,
hey, it's all about the little chipping away at the consistency things, man. Those are awesome improves. You're in squad 2, aren't you?
I don't remember which squad I'm in. I think I'm in 1.
You're totally.
Squad 1.
Yeah, you were in the first. The guys who made the free call are mostly in squad 1. And then
okay, yes, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I'll throw up on bolts some ways to improve the sit-up piece, and that should improve your run. Because honestly, sit-ups contribute to your ability to either walk faster and then eventually run, or just outright run too.
Okay.
Joel?
Yeah, hi, I'm Joel. Yeah, had a good week this week. Got, I think, 4 5Ks in, which I feel good about. I'm trying to run more. I've been increasing the amount of running, and my speeds are going down, which I'm happy about. I'm classified obese, so which it takes a bit of energy to get running for half a mile. So I'm trying to get, where I can go half a mile to a mile of solid jogging. So that's what I'm trying to do. Also, what I'm trying to do is spend more time in the Word. I want to do more of that. What I have felt good about is my eating habits. I'm eating awesome. I've been watching my diet like a hawk. I've been losing weight. I'm feeling awesome. Went to church this morning. I was alert the whole service through. Really alert. Like I felt oneness. And I thought, the devil wants us not to be alert. He wants us to be junk food eaters and to be dead-minded. And I tell you what, eating right this week, I feel alert. So that's one thing I like. And I'm also, I want to keep pressing on with the walks. Another thing to pray about this week, I am flying with my wife to Guatemala, and our diet's going to be really screwed up a little bit. I'm not sure how I'm going to do all this thing. We're going from Thursday to Monday for a wedding, and these are your prayers that I could be sincere and keep on this this walk. I'm not sure how my internet service is going to be either, too. So
yeah. Well, as far as the trip goes, I mean, there's feast days built into there, and it's like anything else. We're gonna meet challenges. Enjoy yourself while you're down there. I mean, that's an opportunity. God doesn't want us to deprive ourselves from some of the joy. And I'm sure if your in-laws are anything like of mine, that's a time of food is a celebration in our family. Yeah. That's a big part. Right. And just be smart about it, and, and don't beat yourself up on having that extra 5 portions of roast pork or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
So
thank you. I love this group. I'm having an awesome time with it. Thank you guys for all being part of it.
Thanks, Joel. Josh, you want to hit us up? 2 sustains, 2 improves?
Sure. This past week was a bit of a struggle. I came down with a sickness, so I've been recovering from that. But I have had tremendous results with the change in my diet. I've seen a lot of inches lost, not a lot of weight, but that is because I work out a lot, so I know I'm putting muscle on as I'm losing the fat. So that's been really good. So I want to sustain my diet. Also, just making sure that I'm prioritizing in the morning and really diving into the Word and making sure that is the first thing that I do when I get up, rather than it be the last thought of the day when I'm going to bed of, oh, do I have time for this? I'm tired.
Yeah.
So being really intentional about that has made a tremendous difference over the past 2 weeks. So that's another sustain. I want to continue to work on my times for my runs. They're getting back to what they used to be, but they're not anywhere where I want them to be. So it's my improve.
That's awesome. And a couple of you guys have mentioned this so far. I mean, we're only 3 guys into this as far as the diet goes and what you're seeing. Expect that as you eat cleaner and as you've eliminated some of our comforts, some of our go-to things, especially, it's pretty common for guys, a couple of weeks of motivation and we've given up, our go-to snack food or our go-to breakfast or whatever. It's pretty common for you guys to get a day in there where you're going to have some of those die-off symptoms. So you're going to feel a little bit down. You're going to feel maybe like you're getting sick. Not that I'm not saying, Josh, that you weren't sick. I'm saying the rest of our diets. Those are the toxin levels of whatever we've been cramming down our throats, kind of just giving its last go. It usually only lasts 12 to 24 hours. If you increase your water intake and you lighten up on the caffeine and you try to get a little bit more sleep that night, it's usually gone. It's rarely more than a day that you kind of hit that just kind of swampy head feeling. But it is common. So if you guys run into that, just be advised you're on the right track, and then you can kind of add back stuff in better portions or as a special treat later on, but it doesn't have to be a daily go-to. Okay. I'm going to go to Tom Rowan next.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good and getting gooder, brother.
Joined in a little late there. Things that I want to that I'm sustaining and doing good, getting good at the runs. I don't know if I've made a whole 5K running yet, but we'll see. We're trying. My wife has been extremely supportive through this and is doing the diet portion with me.
Nice.
So, it's been really nice because then it's not like, hey, everybody else have pizza. I'm going to sit over here and have a salad, So,
this is good.
Right. Exactly. I don't have to suffer through that.
You suck, family.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, really, she's been supportive, so that's good. It helps being Plexus ambassadors, And then things I need to improve on, definitely the running. I need to be more consistent with my push-ups and the workout. Otherwise, I think I'm doing pretty good. And then consistently reading the book like in the morning. I usually get to it about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Just wasted now.
Yeah.
So I need to be better about that. But mornings are kind of crazy when you got a 5-year-old to get ready for school. So
I hear you. And you know, I've fallen into that once or twice. My life is kind of a little bit crazy right now, and I've gotten to 3 o'clock once or twice where it's like, oh, I have had that sitting on my desk, and I do my study. I don't sacrifice my study. Maybe a workaround for that is if that's something that you're consistently doing, hit that up before you go to bed. And that way it's fresh on your mind. You can, you know, pick it back up and say, what was that challenge again? And it's less of a time commitment, but it's already in your mind when you wake up that you've got this to do.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
I don't recommend reading too far ahead because it's kind of unfolding as we go through these things, and the physical suck part of this kind of goes along with the story that he's telling. But I think it can be done, and I think the night before is probably a good workaround for those of you whose schedules are a little bit different.
Yeah. I got called in for a night shift. I work in a hospital. I got called in for a night shift the other night, and it just jacked up my whole, 2 days afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
So trying to recover from that. I don't usually work nights.
Well, you know, if you want to use the excuse of, you know, helping people get better physically in a hospital as some kind of, I don't know if the rest of the guys are buying that or not, but, you know.
I can't play too much on that card. It was a secretary shift, so.
No. All right. Every little bit helps.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Clint, you want to go next?
Sure. Sorry. Technical difficulties with my internet, so I had to switch to my phone. The guess going well is eating going well. The diet, I was working on that prior to this, so getting rid of carbs and things like that, so I was able to go into this pretty easily. The problem I have is I'm allergic to chicken, turkey, beans, and a bunch of stuff, so I'm having a hard time finding variety. So I'm eating the same thing over and over. And so I'm just trying to find different things. I added some Greek yogurt and, I don't know, fresh fish, and just trying to add up some other proteins and stuff. But otherwise, it's going well. I just need to stick with variety. The walks are going good. I think I said last week my left calf was a little sore, so I've been staying away from jogging. But I found that I can walk extremely fast, and it doesn't hurt it. So been walking the 5Ks, and one thing to work on, we're going for walks each night, and I'm getting 30 minutes of physical movement, no problem, either walking or riding bike, but I'm thinking I need some other activities for that 30 minutes of activity. So there's some other exercises to do and things like that. We're all, I guess, going okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I said earlier was, right away I just dropped the weight, 7 pounds in less than a week. But then now I'm not losing the weight, but inches are just, I can tell I'm inches. Everything's just looser. So feeling pretty good.
You know, they make this new protein powder out of crickets. Maybe you can. Yeah.
I have. We were thinking of starting the 21-day shake challenge tomorrow. And so that may fit well for part of this. So I'm going to do that for the morning, but I'm a lot of protein and other food in too. So I'm not going to do the full 21 days of the protein shakes, but I've been doing some protein shakes at night and in the morning sometimes.
Yeah. I just had one myself. I used to make these things in the field out of cocoa packets and peanut butter and a little bit of coffee creamer. We called them Ranger peanut butter cups or Field Expedient peanut butter cups. And I just did one with that PB2, a chocolate P96, some coconut milk, some ice. That was good.
One other thing that Joel said too was getting in the Word. Last week we talked about it, and so this week I was able to get into the Word each day. really spent more time with that. So that's encouraging also. I'm going to continue that.
That's awesome. You know, I know a few guys, including myself, that had some challenges running from time to time, just because of the pace and the amount of running we were doing in a week. And you'd be surprised at the faster pace, walking, how quickly, you know, within about a week or so, that will strengthen those muscles that support wherever your trouble area is. And then you can, you know, start to do smaller steps to get back into the running piece. But, you know, hey, you're walking a 5K that you weren't doing 3 weeks ago. So
I did get better shoes, and I did get those support socks, and those work pretty good. I really like those things. Those are good.
It's not just for fashion. Josh is not just all about fashion.
Luckily, it's dark in the morning when I go.
Hey, you know what? You get yourself some of those little either Marine Corps version or Army version, little silky PT shorts, and you just own it, brother.
Right.
Own it.
Ranger panties.
There you go. I was going to say that, but I didn't think anybody would get the reference. But I'm glad you're with me, brother. Yeah. Jordan, you want to hit us up next?
Yeah, sure. So I guess one kind of like Clint was saying, one of my sustains, we were already doing a pretty good job for about 6 months now on a clean eating program prior to starting this. So it's just, you know, a matter of keeping that up and keeping those temptations to at bay a little bit, especially we've been on, you know, mixture of vacation and visiting family for almost a month now. We're heading back a week from today, actually home, and, you know, just being on the road and being not at our house, it's been very tempting just to fall into the snack food category again, or, you know, go grab a dessert when we ate out at the beach and that kind of stuff. So just, you know, trying to keep those temptations at bay, you know, that was a big thing. So just being able to sustain the clean eating, you know, I think that's a big one. Also, as some other guys have said, just, you know, being in the Word every day, that's still a challenge for me. I mean, I work from home, so it's easy just to wheel out of bed and, you know, immediately go over to my computer desk and start work for the day and not take that time away. So, you know, just really focusing. I get the, you know, Bible study in every day, but, you know, spending more time than that. I think that's something I can definitely use some motivation on, and making sure that I'm getting that quiet time. And it's been easier to do while we've been away, because we've had more, you know, we've had grandparents and stuff helping out. We've got 4 kids. So, you know, between exercise, getting in Bible study time, all that kind of stuff, it's actually been easier for the past month while we've been doing this last couple of weeks. And, you know, I think that's my biggest prayer, is just to be able to get back in a good routine a week from now when we get back to our house and it's just me and my wife wrangling the kids again, being able to, you know, just have that routine down, still, you know, while still, you know, helping out with the kids and everything. I think that's a big one. And as far as improvements, I think the consistency of doing the 5K runs, I'm still not there yet. I've done 1 a week so far. I haven't made it up to the 2. I was hurting pretty bad. The times were good on them. I think my big thing this week, the one I did, was on the beach, and that about killed me. So running in the sand. A lot of different
muscles when you're running.
Yeah, running in the sand is a lot different than running on the pavement. So, you know, I've recovered from that now. So hopefully this week we can get back in a good routine and get on that. But I think that's my biggest thing, is just consistency with the exercising. Just making sure to get on that. We actually went out and did an exercise night tonight. I did my rest day yesterday, just because we're on the road all day. But it's kind of where I'm at.
We might give you a credit for 1.5 running a 5K sand.
There we go.
Sure, that sounds pretty reasonable. There was a quote on the bulletin board in my office for my day job, and this is a former CEO of our company, and I'm going to paraphrase it because honestly it was one of those big news articles. But basically what he said was, you're constantly juggling in life, and you've got several important balls that you're juggling. You've got your career, you've got your hobbies, your spiritual life, and, well, no, he said your career, your hobbies, and then your family life, everything outside of work, everything that you're involved in as a person. So that's your spiritual life, that's your kids, that's your wife. And he said, these balls over here are rubber. This is the only one that's made of glass. So if you are juggling and you have to choose to drop one of these, that family, that personal time piece is not the one that you want to drop, because that's not the one that's going to bounce back like the other ones are. So your career and your social commitments and all of those things, those will bounce back. But your family life and that balance is the one that you've really got to find a better way to do it. And that's always struck me. Even from a very secular guy, that, you know, you'd prioritize something outside of what's affecting the bottom line. Because, you know, in all reality, if we're not able to do our jobs well in whatever our careers are, the company doesn't benefit in the long run. So it always kind of resonated with me. To me, it's the relationship with Christ. I know as a CEO of a Fortune 100 company, that's a little bit difficult to say, especially 15, 20 years ago. But thank God for some Christians who have stood up and said, this is exactly how I run my business. It's based on this book, and especially the red letters in this book, and this is how we're going to go to business. And I'm unashamedly doing that. And they've taken some heat for it, but there's some fantastic companies that have continued to be bold about that. And I'm hoping we start to become those guys. Is really my prayer. So it'll come in pieces, Jordan. It doesn't have to be all at once. It just has to be something you're committed to doing and being consistent about. And then you can find workarounds for the time.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
My views just switched. So I know I need Jonathan still, and then I need Tom Fry still. So let's go Jonathan and then Tom.
All right. Probably my sustains. I've been a runner for about a year now, so 5Ks haven't really bothered me. Been used to doing 2 to 3 a week. So I've increased to do 10K training right now. My goal before I turn 50 is to do 5K, which I've already done, a 10, a half, and a full. So those are my goals for the next 5 years. So that's been a sustain. Reading the book, this has been a good challenge. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed the book. I usually read the next day, the night before I go to bed. I'm probably going to pick up rereading it in the morning just to have it a little more fresh on my mind for the day. My improvements, I need to work on doing my push-ups more. That's slow going. And then picking up my diet again. We went on vacation a couple weeks ago, and my diet's falling off. But I need to pick that up. But I'm Plexus ambassador, so I've continued those products, and that's helped me. But that's about it. Having fun with this.
Cool. Thanks, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fry.
I think the biggest thing for my sustain is the workouts. Working out isn't something that I repeatedly do. It's something that's prevalent that I should, but with 4 kids, a job, a farm, church activities, things like that, working out that's planned isn't always there. So that's the one thing I really want to sustain on. The other thing is sustaining on the what I'll call the not snacking foods. That's been a difficult thing for me, of not grabbing something sweet, whether it's doing it through the day or through the night, and sticking with the vegetables and the fruits and that and the nuts instead. And then one thing I got to improve on is the meal planning. It was easy the first week without the family here because I could just stop at the grocery store and pick up the healthy stuff for the day and drag it along with me. With them all here, it's been a challenge of getting us all back to what I'll call a balanced diet, just because of everybody being all over the place. And the other thing that I really need to improve on is just focusing being present with my kids. My oldest one heads off to college in 4 weeks. The other 3 boys start regular school in 3 weeks, and just trying to be present with them while we still got a little bit of summertime here left. So trying to balance all those things is really where I'm at that focus right now. So the glass ball thing just hit me really hard. Thanks for the kick in the gut there. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. That's why I'm here. Okay, so my sustains, definitely taking my time going through the book. because I'm really finding no matter how many other devotionals I'm doing, I'm really finding some value in the story that he's unfolding in front of me. I guess the other sustain is really having that presence of mind to say, at least I'm doing 30 minutes of activity today. And that has been really easy because we're getting our house ready for sale. So, lugging around those bags of mulch and moving dirt and moving wood and flooring and all that other stuff. I mean, I'm getting a good couple of hours of sweat equity and that's great. And then I've also got some exercises that I love to go to. I've got a big old tractor tire out in my yard and an 8-pound sleds that I enjoy hitting a lot. Anyway, sorry, that was a little disturbing. I'm glad this is being recorded. So, hey, you got to do something to prepare for the zombies that are coming. That's all I'm saying. You gotta have it. So, my improves is I still suck at push-ups. I still suck at running. I love Map My Run, which is an application, and Map My Hike. It's all like a suite of families of apps, and you can put in routes and track your progress and all that good stuff. But it has a trainer on there that I didn't realize. So I picked a 10K program. It's like a 12-week train up, and that sun is killing me. Hold on. There we go. It's like a 12-week training, and it gives me, I think it's trying to get me to 15 miles a week. So it has at least 2 5Ks in there, 1 5-mile run, and then like 1 easy run. So it's like 4 days out of 7 that you're running, doing something along those lines. And it tells you, intervals and paces and stuff like that. So it's kind of a program to get you a better finishing of a 10K, and I'm starting that tomorrow. So I will have, at least 3, if not 4 or 5 5Ks in there in a week starting, and that's one of my big improve areas. So I figured, hey, let's do that. As far as the push-ups go, I've got to do more tricep stuff and more chest stuff. So for me, if you just sit on the edge of a chair or a bench or something and you work those triceps a couple times, if you do the isometric against the wall where you're just trying to do that first half of the push-up, which is closest to your chest. Athlean X had a phenomenal talk on this called Improving Your Bench Press, and he's talking about most guys have a lot of strength when they extend their arms. Basically from your elbows out, there's a huge amount of strength just because of our muscle, just because of our body mass and our muscle mass. It's that little piece that gets you from your chest to your elbow is where most guys lose push-ups and bench press. So if you can push and start to strengthen those chest muscles and the traps that come in and the triceps that come in just against the wall for 30 seconds or as long as you can do, where you're literally trying to push that wall down. Those isometrics will start to create those muscle fibers that will help you with the extension, the full extension that you do in a push-up. So just those little bitty things. And then for me, I've had back issues since I joined the Army because they beat me. No, but they did. So supine bicycles and anything that's on your back where you're engaging that large muscle group that runs on each side of your spine, which is the supine muscle, will actually help with your push-ups. So that includes planks, that includes supine bicycles, that includes even flutter kicks, help with your abs and with your lower back. And those will help you over time get those push-ups done. So I've got to engage more variety and just start getting these things done. I owe you guys a max push-up day because I don't know what I did to that trap muscle, but it went from the back of my skull all the way down my shoulder blade. My chiropractor's like, yeah, you're going to need to not do that for a minute. So I need to get back to that now that I'm healthy. And that's it. So let's see how we're doing on time. We've got about 10 minutes left. I'm just going to open it up. This is your time, guys. So if you have some questions that the group might be able to chat with now, let's knock them out. If you have any concerns about Hell Week coming up, or fasting, or what you can do better, or what you might want somebody's opinion on, let's go ahead and field it.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say this is Jordan. So I guess more of for those of you that are doing Plexus products, has anybody done a fast while taking Plexus products? Just curious, what that experience is like, and is there anything we should lay off that day or anything like that for, just normal triplex type stuff? And
I have eaten, I have done, when I'm on an accelerator cycle, I have done, taken my accelerator and ease on an empty stomach, and that didn't do too well for me.
Yeah.
So just be advised, the pink drink on an empty stomach is great.
Okay.
The ProBio and the BioCleanse I take at night when I go to bed. So for me, my routine is a little bit different than some, but everybody's body's different. Some people, do what most of us train on is, some in the morning and some in the evening. ProBio on your last thing before you go to bed. That's what most of us in the company train our customers and ambassadors to do. I do all my ProBio and my BioCleanse in the evening, right before I go to bed. Go ahead, Charles.
I was gonna say I take I do my pink drink, my Edge, X Factor, and BioCleanse all in the morning on an empty stomach every day, and I don't have a bit of problem with it on an empty stomach. So
awesome, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna avoid the BioCleanse during the fast.
I don't go without my BioCleanse. You might scale it down. I'm at 4 most of the time. So if you're at that level, you might want to take it down a notch. But I get your point, Tom.
I got one. You were thinking about doing that 21 shake thing, 21 days, and I would just do it for the days I could. Is if I do a shake in the morning with the coconut milk in the shake, should I also be eating like high protein foods also? I mean, or is that shake enough, do you guys think? Or should I also be having an egg and toast with it or something? Or I don't want to overdo a breakfast, but I don't want to not do enough breakfast.
For me, the smoothies that I've done, I do like a big glass. Like mine is 8 ounces of coconut milk, and then I'll add some liquid and a bunch of veggies to that. So it's like a 20-plus ounce smoothie, and that satisfies me.
But for the 21 days, what they want us to do is mix your Slim with the shake and the coconut milk in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, the typical recipe for me doing the shake challenge was at least 8 ounces of coconut milk, a P96, a Slim, usually a handful of like Power Greens, some frozen strawberries, sometimes some powdered peanut butter or almond butter. And I get a pretty good amount of protein with that. But again, the size, because you're getting good protein with the P96, and then you're also getting some protein with if you're adding the peanut butter or the almond butter as well. So just some ways to mix it up. I know you're allergic to certain things, so maybe you can.
Yeah, I should be good.
Okay. And again, there's that cricket powder out there. It's available. But it's a great challenge, and honestly, it took one thing off my plate. I've done it a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it because you can play around with the recipes and get different kinds of greens and berries in there. that just kind of give you a variety, but it's also giving you the nutrition that you need to get your day going. It does make a difference. Anybody else? All right, guys, be thinking tonight about what day this week you want to fast. Just throw that up on the squad chats, and we'll see if we can form some, some fire teams to do this week and knock this hell week out of the park, okay? All right, guys. I'm Josh French. I'm Good and Getting Gooder. Be blessed, and I will see you guys soon. Oh, one quick thing. I've had some interest of guys that didn't make it to this challenge, that expressed an interest, didn't make the commitment. And that's fine. I mean, life gets in the way, right? We're going to run this again. We're going to run this 6-week cycle again, probably give ourselves a couple-week break. I don't intend this to be the only book study I ever do, but I'm finding some huge amount of value in working out with some guys from all over really North America, every 6 weeks. So 6 weeks out of every 8 or 9 that you're doing a challenge seems like a pretty good routine to me. So probably sometime in September, at the latest October, we'll run another cycle. If you guys want to hop on, you're always free to, feel free to continue the challenge, continue the routine, and be that much farther ahead as you go into the next phase, and then just bump your goals up. So stay tuned, and then we'll do some more business-specific book studies as well. I'm looking at a couple of John Maxwell things, possibly as my next focus, because I want to move this back into and start talking about bringing our faith into our Plexus business. Because if you guys have not witnessed that live in the true heart of the ambassadors that are around you, I'm sorry you haven't seen that, because everybody I've come across in this company is just amazing. And it's one of the blessings of being in Dallas, is just seeing that level of commitment and seeing that it's not all about business. It's about, being a blessing and serving your God humbly. And then also, helping people while you're doing this. So that servant heart is really a part of our company culture. And I really want to tie that into my next book study, because that's something that I need to stay in touch with as well.
Hey, Josh, check out a book called The Servant by James Hunter. It's a cool, it's a cool little book. It's a short, easy read. Short, by definition, for me means I should be able to pick it up and read it, meaning there's small pages, big print, and lots of white space. But it's a good book. It's a fictional story, but it's based on a guy who is having a struggle in the business world and leaves and goes to a retreat at a monastery. We'll need to find out one of his favorite business leaders of all time as the leader at this monastery. And it's kind of a cool book. It came out probably about 12 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. But it's a quick, easy read. Yep.
Cool. Found it.
If you're looking for something that has got a story to it, because Maxwell can get a little deep into the theology and that stuff, it's a nice book. I love Maxwell too, but sometimes people want to poke their eyes out and gouge their brains while they're reading them too. So just one that I've had good luck with.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, I'm gonna add this to one of my lists. But thanks for the heads up. Anybody else have suggestions? Throw them up on the squad chat, and we might have a poll or something on the existing Sheepdog page as we start to close out this SoulCon challenge. And then what I think I'm going to do going forward, I'm going to stop the recording just so you guys get the inside scoop on